Welcome back into Waveless is Live. I'm Michael Vanover, filling in for John Ramsey today, and I'm joined now by a familiar face to the program. Attorney Jim Desmond is joining me. Jim, how are you?
Hey, Michael. Always good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Appreciate you being here. So, leading into July 4th weekend, it's a crazy time. They're saying that they think they're going to set a post, since the pandemic record on travel this weekend, by car, by plane, whatever. People need to be careful out there this weekend for a lot of reasons. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Probably the first thing they need to do is, before you even go on the trip, I know you want to say, okay, where am I going, the hotel and everything else, but it's like,
take a step back.
I hate to say it, go back and look at car insurance, okay? And, I was thinking earlier, car insurance and the word cool usually don't go together. But the thing about car insurance is that it follows you. So if I drive down to Florida, the fact that the law of that state does control the accident, but all those benefits I bought in my car insurance before I went down there followed me. Right. So I was talking to somebody the other day, an insurance adjuster in Florida, and he was telling me again that they don't require car insurance that way. You can drive around with zero insurance. So you get hit by somebody who has no insurance. Again, I'm immediately looking back to your policy for the uninsured motorist coverage, or your car's damaged. I'm looking for collision coverage. So,
well, that's unbelievable. I didn't even know that. See, as an example. I mean, and a lot of people. So if you're in an accident, let's say you're in an accident here at home, or you're accident in another state. Does anything change? I mean, as far as, do you still follow the same procedures? What about ER visits, insurance? Can you talk about that a little bit?
The law of the state is always what controls the accident site. Okay, I will tell you every single time, and again, especially if you're in Kentucky or whatever, and you've done what you should, which is have the right insurance ahead of time. Okay, I'll tell you, go ambulance to emergency room if you're hurting, okay, and especially if the car looks bad. And if you're in another state and you do that, and you got health insurance as a fallback, and we've got no fault insurance to begin with, those combinations, I know that my client, whoever calls, and I can say, look, we can get your medical bills paid. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, I mean, the first step, whenever you're in any kind of accident, of course, is to get the police there.
This doesn't change, right? No matter what state you're in, these are the things.
Well, and if you can get the police to show up, because they're going to basically take a better look at it and everything else. Because one of the things, go back to computers, and personal injury attorneys are the same way, garbage in, garbage out, right? So many times, the more you can collect at the scene about the insurance, the driver, whose vehicle it is, photographs of where the car is located, it makes our job so much easier, which in turn is good for the client, because the client's saying, I want to get my car fixed, and I'm saying, well, I've got to get this other company to accept fault and liability, and they're not going to do that when they're saying, okay, well, who's behind the wheel of the car? Why are they driving it? They've got 20 questions before they can get to that point.
And I think it's important too to keep your receipts, right? You talk about that a little bit. We were talking off camera, because when you're out of town, you're naturally going to have to get home. You have to do this, that. All of that goes into damages. Is that right?
Correct. Okay. Exactly. So in other words, again, your car is badly wrecked. You've called the police. The car's not drivable. Unfortunately, it's going to have to go to either a repair shop or a tow lot. Whatever your out-of-pockets are, you start keeping them. You're building your damages. You're building your case from day one. That's the unfortunate part about car wrecks in general, is that you're building your case from the minute the car wreck happens. And that's where, if you can do it, or somebody else can, you've heard me say this before in this show, pull out your cell phone, take photographs of where the car is located, okay, where the cars are in position to each other. Take photographs of the other guy's license, his license plate, his insurance card, who's driving. You can get him to say, this sounds so tacky and horrible, if you can pull up your iPhone and say, you agree you're at fault for the wreck, record it for 10 seconds. Right. Because otherwise what happens, everybody says, oh, he's insured, he admitted fault, and I get the case, and all of a sudden insurance companies are telling me a different story.
So, as we're talking about the 4th of July weekend, there's going to be more pedestrians out. There's going to be fireworks. There's going to be alcohol. Let's talk about a little bit of all of that. Let's start with parties, barbecues, alcohol. This can lead to a lot more dangerous environment out on the roadways, right? Yeah.
Well, the thing with alcohol is this, that if you're ever... of course, it's bad enough to get behind the wheel, period. But if you're convicted of DUI and you're in a car wreck, so you were obviously probably at fault, okay, then you've opened yourself up to a claim called for punitive damages, and not just designed to compensate, but a claim for punitive, designed to punish. So again, if I'm going against somebody and they've hit one of my clients and the other person was DUI, I can take an average case and increase the value substantially right there. And of course, what am I doing? I'm costing that person and that car insurance all the more money, and I'm making it more likely that person might be dropped down the road. Okay, if if on the other end, well, I'm sorry.
We're talking about fireworks too. Also, I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so there's a ton of fireworks out there, and unfortunately, there's injuries there every year. Talk about what happens if there is a firework injury and how people can be careful.
Well, I mean, the first thing people need to understand, of course, as you say, there's all these injuries. It's again, the homeowner where he's letting it happen, probably provided the fireworks, it's a negligence case. Can you prove that he did something wrong and that's where the injury came from? There's two types of insurance you're going to deal with if you've got a homeowner. One, the med pay, which is that can cover your medical bills up to whatever that homeowner purchased, which that can be a nice little thing. I'd still tell you use your health insurance primarily, and then we can use your med pay to cover the co-pays and deductibles. The other part is the liability insurance, where we're saying, okay, for pain and suffering and such, we're going against the homeowner's insurance policy because most of those policies have a general liability provision, and we're saying he messed up and he caused injury to this person. So again, it's one of those you got to play it extra safe.
I think what Jim is saying is be careful this weekend, whether you're on the road, whether you're out of state, in state, playing with fireworks, whatever. Be careful, but make sure the insurance is buttoned up, right? I mean, that's what this all comes back to.
Yeah, because before, I mean, that's the key we've talked about before, and that, you know, again, everybody wants to think the other guy is responsible for my medical bills and all this other. State minimum in Kentucky is $25,000 per person. You got a $50,000 medical bill. I'm fishing to try to make sure I can get enough insurance. Not only myself, any attorney in town. We're fishing on different insurance policies to try to make sure we can just get enough to pay your medical bills alone.
All right, Jim, you came on here giving us great advice for the holiday weekend. But really quickly, tell us about Desmond Law Office, how long you've been around, and that number on your screen is not just any phone number, it's your cell phone, right?
20 plus years I've been doing it. That number has been on the web since 2005. They can reach me over the weekends. I live and breathe with that cell phone. So even on the holidays and stuff like that, people can still call or text me.
You're always working. That's right. So if they need you this holiday weekend,
been in an accident.
502-609-7657 is your cell phone. But again, it is, you live and breathe it. You're always reachable, and you focus on car accidents specifically, correct?
Correct. That's all
that's what you do.
That's what I choose to do. I have a lot of other good friends who are better at other things, and
you help people.
Well, yeah. If people call and they have something else, I'll give them the name of somebody I trust, and then we'll see if we can't get them help that way.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you so much for being here today. Everybody be safe this weekend, according to Jim. Make sure the insurance is right. But if you need them, attorneydesmond.com or 502-609-7657. We'll be back here in just a minute to wrap up the show. Stay with us.